Hi to this new podcast together with Tobias and Aleksander from EtOH Spirits. Welcome, first of all. Yeah. Today we are trying your products. I'm very excited for it. This bottle and these other bottles we have made the long way from Denmark to Ukraine, and I'm happy that we can try it today together. Before we start with a tasting, I would have two questions from my friends. There was one question: if the product you are doing with the ultrasound aging, if this is stable. As I understood, barrel aging 20 years, it's a stable product. It will not change anymore if you put it in the bottle. But this, could it, is it also stable like this?
It's a very fair question. Our products are stable. It's since what we are doing is simplified barrel aging. Yes, it's a very relevant question. You have a new make spirit coming off the stills, has a lot of green flavors, unfinished flavors. There's a lot of we call like oxidation potential, reaction potential. Like a lot of things will happen. You have many products where you need to leave it for a few hours or a few days before like the flavors are integrated nicely. Um, when we are producing a spirit, a whiskey, a rum, it is as depletive of oxygen, like the same chemical reactions have underwent. So it is as stable as any other balance product. It's not like that the color will go back to pale, like the color goes back to nowhere. It is the chemistry in barrel aging is a lot of what we call reversible actions. Everything is equilibriums, but yes, it is as stable as any other barrel aged product.
And our first products were made in 2020. So we already have a proof of like 6 years stable
years.
product at least. And I don't see anything changing in 15 years. As long as
Yeah.
it's in a bottle which is sealed, of course, it's going to be fine.
Yeah, okay, if it's in the open, something can happen.
Yeah,
It's,
exactly.
that's
And
normal.
I believe the bottle you're going to try today, this one is from 2022.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you. And then there was another question with the oxidation. We talked about the ultrasound, but how does it work? How do you do it?
Again, very fair question. We have designed our reactors to be very good at one thing, and that's what we call oxygenation. That we are firstly dissolving oxygen in the liquid. We're not just pressurizing, because then it just means there's a blanket of gas on top of it. That's not what you want. You want to have the oxygen solubilized, dissolved within the spirit. Otherwise,
Yes.
all the molecules cannot reach the oxygen. So we have a micro oxygenation device. So we are adding the air as tiny bubbles, almost microscopic bubbles. And we have a specific motion in the liquid so that we have like a gentle mixing so that all the oxygen is not just bubbling straight to the top, but like it's being caught in some kind of a vortex. So that we actually don't need to add that much. You shouldn't add too much. The same way that, let's go with a bottle comparison. You bought a very expensive bottle for your father-in-law. It was very expensive, and you don't dare to drink the left over. Like there's so little left, you really want to keep it. But that's actually detrimental, because then you are keeping the whiskey in a very big headspace. Every time you open it, you're replacing the air inside the bottle. Too much air can be damaging for many spirits. So the same way that we do, we want to add just enough oxygenation to run the oxidation reactions that are happening. We are measuring it inline in real time. So we can also always measure the current concentration of oxygen, because it really tells us where is the spirit and how much further does it need to go.
Okay. for us, for the ones who make small batches, small things, would it be good, for example, if I want to age a little bit quicker, could it be that I can oxidize with like a small, from the aquarium? Because you said
Yeah,
small bubbles, you put the stone inside and then it
yeah.
bubbles also inside the liquid. Is it the same like this?
It is the same principle. What I like that we have is that we have a completely closed system.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
can
okay.
to aerate without having you need the cap slightly open, and then you're actually venting off the flavors.
And if you increase temperature, of course, the pressure is gonna rise. So you
Yeah,
have to be
but
careful.
you need valves, no? You need valves that, otherwise you make a explosion. Yeah, you make a,
Yeah.
a bomb.
Yeah, but that we have all the regulations and we try to explain we are certified to have a slightly pressurized closed system with electronics and everything.
Of
But
course.
a home distiller could face some limits. But yes, it's not that much air when you do the the mass calculations.
Okay.
Even just I think we said this on the previous podcast. Better to stuff in half full bottles because you have all the headspace you need. If you give it a shake once in a while, it will help to you
Yes.
dissolve oxygen here into the liquid.
Yes. Yeah, that's we are doing with the brandy, for example. Also,
Yeah,
always every month I open it and I shake it a little bit, oxidize. Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
it's
Yeah,
normal. It's not so much. Exactly.
yeah.
And one question just came into my head. What about the atmosphere? Because now you sell your system, you're in Denmark, you sell your system, for example, to Australia or to India or whatever. There they have a other pressure, atmospheric pressure. Is it some changing something?
No. Yeah, adding it we are either working with pure oxygen from a cylinder that can be very hard to get as a home distiller, or we're using a compressors. It
Okay.
doesn't matter. Yeah. The altitude will decide your pressure, but that will be the same concentration of oxygen.
Okay.
Less. I don't know. At the next postcards we can fill in the Himalayas if you want. If you'll pay for it, we'll do a tour. We'll go there and make whiskey. That'll be cool.
Yeah. Good. With what do we start? Maybe with the gin or with the, I don't know.
We can start with the gin, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is not aged product. So yes, I actually
But
broke.
this is special. There is some special to it.
Yes. So what you have at the bottle, we call it Halo. We are
That's the right bottle.
yes.
That's good.
Because on our side is not yet commercially released. Halo was a project, a Danish restaurant, a Michelin restaurant called EtOH, and we distilled it together with our friends from EtOH Spirits in the Copenhagen Meatpacking District. So this is a gin created by Englishare. We have been running so many projects in the past on various spirits, and since we explained how we collect the Englishare for making better whiskeys and rums, we are left with a leftover product. I mean, you could just use it in the next whiskey batch, but we actually thought it fun to keep it for a while and then macerate it with our own blend of botanicals and fruits, and then redistill it together with our friends at Harpen Spirits. This is a gin that came out of nowhere.
But the angel share is from the new make for whiskey. Does it have
all other products we were making
Yeah.
while we were collecting? And
It's a
okay, so it's a neutral. It's neutral. Okay.
but it's all basically just ethanol water. What I really like about this is that when you want to try and put the numbers behind it, imagine that 2 to 4% of whiskey evaporates in Scotland every year, that most tropical regions for rum aging has 10% evaporation per year. You can imagine how many barrels that are sitting in Scotland And then you can imagine the thousands and millions of liters evaporating every year. Imagine how that could drive the entire gin industry, because
That's
it's
perfect.
not just with alcohol.
Right. Angel share loss, it almost equaled the worldwide sales of gin. So you could actually just never distill gin again, or like
Crazy.
for the gin and just use the angel share too.
Yeah. Or for vodka, ne? Vodka would be also a product,
Yeah, yeah.
spirit. Tastes good.
What we did there is that we
Very
focused on
aromatic.
yeah, we also focused on getting something for the storyline to. So I'm Danish, and I really love the Swedish cloudberries. Cloudberries is
Yeah.
like a very intense yellow orange fruit. It's very tasty, first of all, but we like the connotation, like cloudberries for an 8th share gin, and we name it Halo because the angels have the halo. So that's the kind of storytelling we're working with this gin here.
And some aromas come also from blackcurrant wood. So the angel share was also extracted with some blackcurrant wood before the distillation. And when we did some projects distilling aged product or product which was in contact with some wood compounds carry over even after distillation.
So we are creating a slightly aged gin when it's macerate. When we redistill, colors are staying behind. So we're trying to get some barrel aged notes into a gin, but that you never see. Well, you can get a barrel aged gin, but then it has color. I like the hybrid here, that it appears and looks like a standard gin, but I would say I'm getting all these like slightly sweeter, fumy like barrel notes. There's some oakiness. The wood, Alexander mentioned, is like very aromatic. It's really like a wood, a blackened wood is something we like to work with it, but the flavor doesn't really fit in a whiskey profile. If you want a classic whiskey profile, it doesn't really. But there'll be other spirits like gin where I think it fits quite beautifully.
It's very nice. What I like about it, first of all, it's 40%. That's very low for gin. And it's still not cloudy. It's clean. Very clean.
Maybe it's a
Very
culture
oily.
difference. I know you can do navy gin, but for us, that's like
Very good.
if you also want to be able to sip it. I know that people prefer for cocktails to have a stronger gin
Mhm.
because you can make it more gin flavored, depending on your opinions and your philosophies. I like this because it also becomes a nice sipping gin.
Yeah, it's nice. You don't need the tonic. You can
Yeah.
just drink it. It's very nice. And it's like refreshing. You get the lemon. Comes out good. Here you write forest berries mixed. So is it like blackberries or?
I think it was blackberry, blackcurrant,
Yeah.
and something more. I think it's we're printing the label right now. I think there's gonna be more description.
That's very nice. And really interesting because you don't waste the product. You can do your own
We like to
recipe.
do the calculations first before we're gonna like state anything, but you are definitely producing a carbon neutral product here. You can even claim that it's carbon negative because
Yes.
you're basing it on a resource that was already lost. So that way the product becomes carbon negative. I think it's a great storytelling. I also think that we know there will be some people in the world who liking the idea, buy one, get two. Like you are working with our technology, but then you're actually opening up a new category of products. You can make vodka. The idea that you can make two products out of one product is really also like building the brand, the original brand. We wanted, we have several times let's call it the babushka model. We like to age spirits on itself. So we did, for example, way back a project with a Norwegian brewery called Levi. So
Okay.
what we did, we took their spent grain, so like the toasted spent grain, and we aged it in Copenhagen. So you could say we age malt on malt. We want to do more things like this. I want to see how much we could do with the gin. Could we make gin on the stuff that gin came from? But like, I like the idea that you work on the same in the same family.
Yeah, to save the products actually.
Yeah.
I know that one of my colleagues, he used now when he made the whiskey, or the Trester, we call it in Germany, the back set, what is there? Yeah, but from the malt.
Yeah.
He didn't throw it away. He just put water in and sugar. So again, the flavors are still there. It's not so intensive, but you can make like a vodka out of it.
Yeah.
So you can use it again a little bit,
With
take the
I
flavors
like
out.
and grappa is the second rebirth of the same wine.
Yes.
So, like,
Yeah.
this is the wine and this is the grappa. Came from the
Yeah.
same grape. I like that idea that you like you have the same product in multiple variations.
Yeah, that's good. And it's very tasty.
Yeah. But maybe I would suggest we'll try the vodka. Because I really want to explain just briefly. Most viewers there will be, like, when we talk about new make is many things. But normally we talk about neutral grade spirits, GNS or NGS, products that have to 96 or 96.5%, which is in the EU a regulation for making vodka. It's also for making the base of gin. There'll be many products that require your base distillate to be a clean neutral distillate. So obviously our vodka, this is based on wheat.
It's yellow.
Yes. It's aged now.
Yeah.
When you age a very clean alcohol, we are not polishing the congeners of the new make with all the rough edges that you have in whiskey and rum, cognac. So vodka aging is more like adding layers, adding some top notes. We are not essentially changing the ethanol because the vodka is vodka. Vodka is clean. There's not like some underlying aldehydes or acids that we want to treat to make it taste better. It's already pure. Like, you want impurities in whiskey, you don't want that in a vodka.
There's not going to
But
be
the
much
basis-
transformation. Yeah,
The
you just
basis
wrap
for
like a
this
bowl
vodka,
in there.
the basis for this vodka was wheat or wheat. Okay. Okay.
So for me, this is also barrel aging, but it's not. We are focused on adding flavors. We want to add layers that are pleasant and complementing to the vodka. We're not trying to make the vodka taste older,
Yes.
because that is theoretically not impossible, but there's nothing chemically in the vodka that would change. Yes, you can oxidize the alcohol, but that's basically the only thing that would happen inside the vodka.
And it was aged on rum barrels.
Okay. Yeah, but it's clear. There are no notes like for the wheat. Okay, a little bit, but then you have the oak coming.
And we
But
also
it's
didn't
not
want
like
to.
a whiskey. It's not like a whiskey, of course.
We still try to keep it like
Minimal.
light and bright.
Minimal. Yeah, it's not oaky. It's not like a yeah. It's too much oak. You know this. I don't know for English if it's the mouth.
Yeah.
It's nothing like this.
Stringent almost, and yes.
Yeah, astringent.
Yeah. For me, it's just like it just pushes the vodka slightly more. And at my home, I would say like a vodka martini with this one is just beautiful. Like it just adds a little bit more complex. Like vodka martinis are simplistic. You're working with two ingredients like ant and lemon peel. It's like it's very simple. I just like that you could push it slightly more in one direction.
It's very nice. There's this nuttiness to it, a roof, like a earthy tone. It's more in the back. There's not the fruitiness you don't get because you have a clean product. There's not so much fruit in it, but there's the back end. If you put it in the mouth in the front, there's nothing happening. But if you swallow it, then the hint of oak comes with the vanilla. Mhm. I like it. It's a good idea. But do you think we
And
can? I can
yeah,
imitate that if I just put a little bit oak into a small a batch of vodka, maybe. But it have to be very, very small. Small time, not a long time.
Yeah. I tried some aged vodkas. It sounds very good too.
Hmm? It's a good
And again, I
idea.
would encouraging to don't overdo with wood. I think it's better.
Little bit. Did you experiment with just sugar wash? With a sugar wash? Have you experimented with a sugar wash? Not. Okay. Hmm.
I'm gonna say for me, vodka is like Pilsner. The definition of a good Pilsner is that it has no distinct flavors. It's just there. Everything is in balance. Nothing stands out. For me, vodka is the same. Yeah, you can do Finnish salmiakki or mint vodka. You can do blueberry. Sure, it's a very easy base to flavor because you can taste every flavor you put in. But for me, vodka is like a Pilsner. You want it clean and simple and balanced. So playing on the small notes here,
It's very
because
nice.
otherwise it's just any nice flavored drink, but it's not vodka.
Mm. Mm. Could the people buy your products
Yeah. We have
somewhere?
webshop, we have
You have a
distribution, but
workshop. Okay.
it's the easiest on our website. We always ship worldwide pretty much.
Yeah, we put it
Outside of
in the
the
description below. Then they can
yes,
shop if they like it. Like to try it. Also, the you have the Halo and the aged vodka also.
Halo is coming
It's coming.
hopefully this
Okay.
week or next week, but everything else is
Okay.
there. Yes.
Okay. Now I'm very excited about this one. Eh,
Yeah.
because this is actually the one you aged.
Yes.
Yes.
And what is this? I read this 1939 cherry liquor barrels.
Yes.
What's the
Oh.
story behind it?
There's some IP talks here, so I need to be careful. It is a
Okay.
there is a famous cherry liqueur brand that used to have its production in Copenhagen, in like
Okay.
central Copenhagen. At the outbreak of World War II, ceased the production. After the war, they reopened. You don't want to be in the middle of Copenhagen, so they relocated somewhere else. This cherry liquor brand is now bought by a European company, and they have no affiliation with this product. But we were connected with the foundation that owns the building of the original offices. And that building is called Høringsgård, like the court of hearing. So they still had these barrels in their meeting rooms. They had been empty probably since 1939. We're not trying to age wash. The best prediction we have is that it was seized somewhere in 1939. The barrel could have been older. It could have been in production for 10 years. We don't know. We know at least that it was seized in 1939. And through some friends at Car Studio and the foundation, they're like, we have these old barrels. What do we do with them? And like, we would love to recreate some history with these barrels. What happens if you put new whiskey on old barrels, like very old barrels? And this is also a testament to history. These barrels, well, they were bigger back in the days. They were like 600-liter barrels, but the oak is bigger. They would double the width of a normal barrel because they had plenty of old 2-century-old oak trees that you could just cut because there were plenty. It's such a beautiful barrel. It's dusty. It's crevice. Like you could see that it's like it's worn down, but that what we see is like flavor.
Of course.
Because this cherry liqueur was originally made with, again, NGS. So it was a mix of cherries, neutral grade spirit, and some spices. We wanted to have a new make profile that kind of reflected it, which is also why we call it a grain spirit.
Okay. Pairings.
So we did a smart blend of some actually American bourbon to have some corn there with some Scottish malt new make. So we blended a new make before aging it. And then we're aging it on very, at least 80-year-old cherry liquor barrels with a very dusty feeling to it, like very old wood. So that's
but the liquor, it was high proof. It was like a 40 proof sherry.
the recipe is a secret. I cannot
they
tell
don't
you
know.
exactly how it was a secret, and I still think today is a secret.
But they would need to age it at around 60, 100%.
Okay, but it's like it's not sweet or something. It was a clean spirit aged in the barrels.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think they sweeten it. Again, we don't know their recipe. We did not add any sugars, of course. We discussed having spices there, but like I really wanted, you can taste one thing. You can taste an 80-year-old barrel that came back to life inside a new spirit.
What's very interesting, first of all, the color. It's really nice color. I don't know. I smell cherry.
Yeah. For me, it's like prunes. Like it's very, very
Yeah,
ripe.
prunes. Yes, prunes also. Yeah, it's more prunes. Okay.
But you can say dark cherries or black cherries. Yeah.
And that is nice. It's really good. And it's 45.
Yes.
45 ABV. But it's smooth.
This was actually a
good.
product that we made 3 years ago. The label says 12 days.
Yes.
When we are revisiting some of our older releases, I mean, we are making it shorter and we're making it better.
And also that 12 days always means that how much for the first time to make it. So it was like how long it took us to develop it. The moment we have a recipe, of course, we can always recreate it fast. When we first time make it, we are more careful. We try a lot. We don't push it as hard. But the moment you know a recipe, you just plug it in our computer and it gives you exactly the same product.
Interesting.
Because at the end, it's only energy in, energy out, and then oxygen. And
It's very interesting. 12 days.
Give us your thoughts on the aging profile, because you are an expert in whiskey and spirits. The reason why we're here is also we would love to hear what your honest opinion here.
Again, I wanted to. First of all, the nose is very pleasant. As you said, the prunes, maybe a little bit cherry. I think so. The marzipan, this marzipan. Maybe they had also some of the how you call it in English? The stones inside the cherries, the seeds.
Bits.
The seeds, yeah.
Pits, cherry
Pits, yeah,
pits.
pits. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we would call it benzaldehyde. Like there'll be some chemical compounds responsible for these almond flavors.
Yes, yes, of course. There is some fruit inside. So what happens with most of the whiskeys, that if they age a long time, that the fruitiness from the grain is lost. But here the fruitiness is still there. So it's on the point. I never tried it, but many people say that the old whiskeys, they start to lose this fruitiness in the beginning. So it's only a two-dimensional product anymore. You have the middle section, the hearts, and you have the tails, but the heads are lost because the barrel takes all the heads away, and that's a big problem.
Yeah, they are more volatile. They are more volatile than, for example, the tails. So they are the first ones to evaporate.
Yes, and that's
why it's complex, because it depends on the humidity of the warehouse, etc. And I'm going to say that what we can actually control better with our EtOH technology, because it's totally
it's still
different.
There. It's good.
What stays and what leaves.
Yes, and
I like it. I'm gonna refer to some articles that were published.
yeah, technical. Okay, you just said, Tobias, that you have some articles. You were referring to articles.
When you are asking people what whiskey they want to buy and what price, like how they value quality in whiskeys, everybody says, well, 12, 16, 18 is a better whiskey. But in most blind tastings, people prefer 5 to 8 because it is more vibrant whiskey. It's more three-dimensional. You said it quite nicely. Those are all you, and this is very simplified, but all you get is like leather and cigar boxes. It's very rich, very complex, but it's not very vibrant in my saying. So I like to play with whiskeys that I think we are better at finding the optimum age. We don't age everything to its fullest because we don't necessarily see the flavors going that direction. Like the vodka, you want to age it very lightly. So for some whiskeys, we want to age it.
Yeah, that's also why many of the Scottish whiskies are aged. Then for 1 year after this progress, they age it in the port barrels or something, cherry barrels, to get this fruitiness. But this is like, I don't know, it's a little bit tricky. But it's okay. But they want the fruitiness. Here, the fruitiness is still there. And what is nice, it's smooth. It has alcohol in it, normal. But it has this like a single malt, yeah? In the back end. Back of the tongue, there is complexity. And this is like, how you call it? How you call it? Like a freshness also to it, I would say. The oak comes very good. And it's very complex. Yes, and you can nicely drink it. It's warming. And still, the aroma, nice. It's so interesting. I'm really amazed that something like this can be in 1 week, 2 weeks, you have a finished product. Now I can understand why the people are buying your technology.
The easiest way
Mhm.
to have people talking is to sit down with a bottle. Yeah, we can discuss what the flavors are, and having this conversation with you is a pleasure, Christian. We appreciate. We can always learn. We would like to have your input, but it's also nice to get your assessment of what it is and what you're tasting, because we have, for example, we try to work a lot with analytical chemistry. That's like this expertise, like anything within aroma analysis and GCMS, where we measure each compound. But every time you measure, you need to make useful data. We need to pair it with human input, like sensorial
Yes.
input, because
Yeah,
just
yeah.
what the number thing is not then. Oh, you're getting prunes. We could predict cherries or prunes, but it's so complex. That's what I love with the science. We're not measuring 2 compounds. We're measuring 50 compounds that are responsible that you, when the glass hits your nose, in 1 split second, your brain tells you cherries and prunes. Like that takes us weeks to do in the lab, but we want to understand how this interaction works.
I have to try something. I have here. We talked about this, but now I like to try. This is a whiskey from my friend. It's not so old. It's only 4 years old. Little bit. Like to try this, the difference between them. That's important. This is good, but yours is better. It's different. Yeah. Yeah. I like this from my friend, you know. He has a very nice barrel. I think there was something also like a liquor inside, a brandy or something. And it's very old. It's a long barrel. It's not like these pipes. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very nice. But this is more complex, really, what you did. Mhm.
Well, like I said, any
Very
product, like
pleasant.
any user will make products the way that he or she thinks that they should be intended to be. But yes, of course, I'm happy that you like our products. Of course.
It could be that this product is very good, but it's not my taste.
Mm.
Could be. But the other one is very easy to explain: peated whiskey and not peated. Somebody they say, "Oh, peated, I don't like."
Yeah.
What can we do? You can do nothing.
Yeah.
But it's a good product. Maybe it's the
Yeah.
best peated whiskey in the world, but if you don't like it, yeah, it's very good. Tobias and Aleksander, when a client comes now to you and he says, I want a peated whiskey, I want to go into this direction, I have this style in mind, maybe he brings you an example of a similar whiskey. Could you go in this direction? Could you then, try to make the same?
Yeah.
We often work like this. The client, they have a barrel aged product and I don't know, maybe they have a shortage or they just want to increase the production, but with our technology faster. Yes, they come, they bring their new make, the same barrel they used, and we perform trials. And sometimes they like to look at our, and we spend 1 week together. Uh, Sometimes they just send us and don't come here, and we send samples. But yes, that's exactly what we do.
Okay. But I think this is very complex. You need to know many variables to
Yeah, I
age
mean
it in
that.
the way.
Yes, and then it's nice to be very transparent. So if the client tells us exactly what they do, because if we are recreating, we need to know everything what they do.
Yes. So they need to have trust. They need to have trust also.
Uh, let me try and put it this way. You are taking your I'm gonna say your Volkswagen, you're German. When you're taking your Volkswagen to the mechanic knows exactly how the car is built because the supplier has a 2,000 page long manual of every piece. So like the mechanic always knows what's wrong with the car and how he can fix it. The funny thing is, and I'm really not throwing any companies under the bus here, but that's the principle of barrel aging. When they come with a product, we understand how barrel aging works, but the basis of barrel aging is it works. But nobody chose, yeah, you can choose the best new make for this barrel, but like, what are you actually doing when you have a barrel line? You're waiting. So I would say, again, we have more control of the barrel aging process because we have digitalized it and added sensors and we're running as a program. So we are better at, can you make it slightly more fruity? Can you build a bit more deeper? Like we can take it in directions. We cannot change this. The flavor of the new make is important. If the new make is not peated, we're not going to make
of
peated
course.
flavor. If we're going to get virgin oak barrels, it's very hard virgin oak flavors in the final product. We need sherry barrels to give sherry flavors. Yeah, sure. But I think we are trying to get a better understanding what happens in a barrel than let's say the average barrel user has, because it's a container that you fill, and when you like it, you empty it. That's, for me, is not science. It's craft to do all the blending and the nosing, knowing when it's ready is a science and an art, but you're not really doing anything to the barrel.
What about if you use oak? You have it in a small piece or something, because this is your whole thing, that you have the oak in one space, have a barrel. So if you use, for example, charcoal, you burn the oak. How do the how is it in? How much you char it have an effect on the taste, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how do you do it? How do you say, okay, like I have a heavy toasted, I have a slightly toasted or something?
Yeah, that's the worst part. But like there is no standards. Everyone does whatever they think whatever they want to. We look online and see what people like call a heavy char, a snake char, everything. But at the end of the day, it's very not scientific. So we have our internal documents where we're trying to categorize it and have our profiles for both toasting and charring. But yeah, what you find online is crazy. Everyone just claims something different. Even scientific papers are different.
So let's say you had a medium plus toast. There's no international organ saying that, yeah, light, medium, and heavy is this temperature for X minutes that qualifies for being heavy toast. Let me put it this way. We were like, we need to learn this. We are not coopers. We need to learn how to build barrels. We did all we could. The best thing I found was a French guy on a YouTube video where he was, the classic way with the brazier. He has to open, one hoop is open, the barrel is open. He's toasting it with a free flame, not charring it, but toasting it. And the guy says in French, yeah, I know the smell when the barrel is right. I cannot tell you when. It's like I look at the fire. There's something, I know how much flame there should be. And then I know the smell. When I get the smell, it's done. That's great. He's an artist. But it's difficult as a scientist. Every scientist puts a section called methods and materials. So I'm showing how I did it so other people can come and recreate it.
Yes.
We are doing that for barrels because, yeah, there is a lot of, I think this is a medium jar. Okay. Maybe it's not.
We have a company here. They sell for the home makers. They sell small wooden cubes, and they do it with the infrared. So infrared gives you the exact time, and you can reproduce it. That's also a problem if you cannot reproduce it. No, with a barrel, it's always like these people you need.
There are great products. You can buy chip cube, stave, spiral products. We just prefer to start from base so that we know what happened. I don't want to add something where I'm not quite sure what is the
Of
origin.
course.
If I want to change it, how do I change it? So we
Yes.
prefer we prefer to take whole barrels. We are simply saying the flavor retention is better. You can buy rum chips and sherry chips. They are just not the same.
Yeah. And if we are already using such a small amount of wood, let's go for the highest quality, and we can ensure this quality in-house.
Of course.
So that works for us.
Yeah, you can just take a barrel and use it 20,000 times maybe or something. Yeah.
I mean, we use about our pilot 200-liter trials is about 2 staves.
Yeah, not to
Okay.
be precise, but like one barrel is around 56 trials.
So 56 times 200 potentially. So yeah,
So it's cheap.
it's good.
It's cheap,
Yeah.
actually. Because when a barrel
We-
costs
we-
maybe
for-
500, 700 euros, is in comparison if you just, it's a cheap product.
We were
It's
able to
also important for the industry that they
Yeah.
reduce costs
Yeah.
in the long run. First, you have to
Yeah.
invest, okay? But in the long run, it's good.
Yeah.
I try to get this empty, then I can smell the empty glass. Very pleasant to drink. Very nice. Mm.
So heavy.
It's really a good product. But this is not the only whiskey you made. Or is it your only whiskey?
Yeah, we make some classic Scotch, then like a classic Scotch peated. We have a bourbon. Yeah, there's a selection. Rye whiskey, of course.
And then you have the customers' whiskeys. But yeah. They have yeah, okay. You cannot say, of course. But from one question from my side, where do the people buy your extractor from? From which countries is more? Like Scotland? I don't think so.
Outside Europe.
Outside Europe more. Okay.
Yes. Because we have an industry that works. Okay. In the past few years, Diageo, Pernod, brands, there is a recession feeling in the alcohol spirits industry. You have big marketing machines that takes relatively cheap new make and puts in relatively cheap or expensive barrels, and whiskey sells, and like cognac kind of sells. It's like, why would you need to drastically change the industry? I mean, they are earning money. Some are not, but like the real turns around. We feel actually a more innovative approach to whiskey products, spirits products outside of Europe. Maybe they have less history of the whiskey, so there will be lesser established traditions around the product.
A lot of younger companies as well, which maybe just want to enter the market. And imagine waiting now 10 years for any returns.
That's a big problem. It's a big problem. And but it will also work for rum, no?
Yeah.
Do you have also produce for rum producers?
A lot of rum.
And then legally speaking, we're back. I mean, our whiskey is not whiskey in EU or the UK, but we are whiskey in certain other countries. But rum is rum the moment you have it distilled.
Yeah.
So if we were to
Rum is no
launch
problem.
in Denmark,
Yeah.
rum, it is just rum. We're not calling it anejo or anything else, but like it's rum.
Yeah, but I like it that you here it says this is not whiskey. Actually, good.
There's no confusion. Yes.
Yeah. Really, really nice. Thank you very much for letting me taste that. It's very, very nice experience. And I think if we add this to our podcast, what we did before, technical question, I'm convinced that you can use this technology of products. Yeah, not the same, not the traditional way, but another way.
Yeah. We are back. Sorry, Christian. You were doing
No problem.
beautiful thing.
No problem. No problem. Yeah, I just said not the traditional way, but a new way. And new is not always bad or it's just different.
Well,
And I like to see it from this side.
We can make products. We can recreate products. Yeah. I would, as a personal note, I would love to build new flavors. That's my life journey. Like, I want to build new things, but if people want the same flavor, we can make the same flavor. I'm going to say in Europe, people are not looking for new flavors of whiskey. What you can push is very little. I think the bar is higher outside Europe of what you consider normal to be in a whiskey.
Yeah, the problem in Europe is also that the home distillers, like myself, this is they are not allowed to do it. And then the creative process is lost. You have the industry, they want to sell their product and they just do what they like. So the creativity, for example, here in Ukraine, is much more. Everybody is doing it. Old grandmas, everybody. And they have their recipes, maybe old recipes from their grandfathers. And this is creativity.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like that. We cannot change it. That's like, but I like to do experiments. Yeah.
Most people would like a whiskey on ex-bourbon, ex-sherry, or ex-port wine. I'm going to say that covers, not scientifically, 90% of all the whiskey categories.
Yes.
That's okay.
But you can use now with your extractor, you can use wood, for example, not which is you cannot make a barrel from. There's a wood which bends and everything, and you could just try it. Before it was nobody can do it, but you can.
Yeah,
and that's interesting.
You have what looks to could be a pine roof. Pine is a little bit difficult with the oil content, but yeah, the next time you renovate that, we could take it and put it in the next batch.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, or you can have tropical wood.
Yeah.
I think wood is so much in the world. I don't know how many sorts of wood is, but more than 1,000.
Easy. Yeah.
Easy. Yeah.
Easy.
And okay, we hear from another. Yeah. That's nice. Thank you that you joined my podcast. Thank you for letting me try your products. And I hope that some of our viewers would order this, maybe this one, just to try it. Give it a try. Don't be narrow. Widen out. It's good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Christian.
Ciao, ciao.
Thank you.